The Volvo XC60 has been around for a while now, but I tell you what, it's still a very, very competitive offering in what we call the medium luxury SUV segment. So much so that it's still our pick in the medium luxury SUV segment for our Drive Car of the Year awards. We reckon this Volvo XC60 is the best one for you to buy. We've got the T6 R design model here specifically. Let's take a closer look inside and out, but more importantly, let's take a closer look at why we are such big fans of the Volvo XC60. The R-Design package is undoubtedly stylish and includes 21-inch alloy wheels, a body styling pack and black trim panels, but you also get leather interior trim, quad-zone climate control and Volvo's full suite of safety assistance. Standard equipment is extensive, including the clever 9-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, head-up display, wireless smartphone charging, integrated pop-up booster seat, an excellent standard audio system, and along with optional packs that step the interior quality up another notch if that's what you're looking for. The fact that the Volvo XC60 sits right in the middle of the segment that most Australians care so much about is evident once you get inside the cabin. You notice it from outside the car, but take a seat here and you start to understand why this vehicle is so popular. First up, there's plenty of room, even for families. Now, if you've got super tall teenage kids, you may need to start thinking about a segment bigger than this one. But as far as practicality goes, the XC60 is fantastic. The seats, we talk about Volvo seats a lot. They're particularly good, and there's a reason that we talk about them. If you spend long periods of time behind the wheel, you head off on road trips, these seats are fantastic. Moving on to the infotainment, you've got a digital driver's display, really easy to understand steering wheel controls, and they all work particularly well. The infotainment system in the center of the dash is the one that catches a lot of people's attention. And interestingly, I like that portrait display that we have, because when you look at your mobile phone, you tend to look at it up like that. You don't always turn it sideways unless you're watching video. Let's face it, you shouldn't be watching video while you're driving anyway. So when you look at your mobile phone, you look at it like that. So actually looking at the orientation of it like that makes a lot of sense. Again, like everything else about the Volvo XC60, it's designed with a sense of class. It works really well. It's quite responsive. The graphics are good. They're easy to understand. It's easy to work everything out. The only real downside of the system, and we say this now a lot with modern cars, is the fact that there are no air conditioning controls in easy reach. So you have to go into that to find recirc and turning AC on and off and adjust the fan. When you get in there, it works well though, but it needs to be said that it's not immediately there with a button or a switch. But it also has to be said that everything about this XC60 cabin is elegant and functional. You'll hear a lot about Swedish design principles and Swedish simplicity or elegance in design. And it gets spoken about a lot with the Volvo brand for obvious reasons. I mean, it's an iconic Swedish brand, but it's pretty hard to put your finger on what all that exactly is. But then you open the car door and you sit inside and you think, well, I get a sense of what that Swedish design principle is. It's simple, but it's also classy. Most importantly, it's functional. Now that continues through into the second row. Sometimes you'll see us review a car and we sit up front, talk about how great it is, and we get into the back and kind of go, oh, well, it's a bit of a letdown back here. Not the case with the XC60. The sculpting of these front seats, that's still my driving position. I've got plenty of room for my knees here. My feet are under the seat in front of me and I'm actually quite comfortable. The seat itself is good. It's not like a park bench, it's not too upright. You don't sit into it as much as you do the front seats, that's fair to say, but it's still pretty comfortable. And I think if you're spending a bit of time back here, you're not going to have a problem in the second row. Then, with this huge big sunroof you've got here, there's plenty of light. You don't feel like you're hunkering down in a cave, which is great because it's pleasant to be back here when there's so much light around you. You've got decent LED lighting back here for occupants if you're reading a book or whatever it might be. Vents as well for the air conditioning up here in the pillars, also down here, your own vent controls, and you've got two USB-C ports there for devices as well. So all in all, this is a pretty comfortable place to be, and it's not out of the realms of possibility that you could spend a really long road trip back here if you're a child, if you put relatives in the back seat and you go away on family holidays. You're going to sit back here and you're not going to be hating yourself and wanting to jump out after 5 minutes. The 505-litre boot benefits from a trick in the second row that hints at the Volvo's Nordic origins. The 60/40 split-fold seat features an integrated pass-through ski port. Volvo's 2-litre twin-charged 4-cylinder engine is an exercise in efficient refinement. It's mated to a clever and smooth 8-speed automatic, and the use of the word twin refers to both supercharger and turbocharger inclusion. There's an easy 246 kilowatts and 440 newton metres on offer, with an ADR fuel claim of 8 litres per 100 kilometres. On test, we used an indicated 9.2 litres per 100 kilometres. Drive Car of the Year testing for this segment focuses on the execution of quality, as that's what buyers expect, but judges also took into account the day-to-day practicality, quality of the driving experience and stability on all surfaces. Click the banner above if you want to see the XC60 take on the best in the luxury medium SUV segment at Drive Car of the Year. The XC60's inherent balance comes to the fore at speed, through the swerve and avoid test, and under heavy braking on both wet and dry surfaces. Volvo's electronic safety inclusions come into play when the road is particularly slippery, but the XC60 is at all times balanced and in control. Crucially, it doesn't shift its weight from side to side in ungainly fashion, no matter how hard you push it into a corner. In traffic, the XC60 is a sublime and insulated experience with a neat blend of attention to detail, comfort and cabin ergonomics. It's comfortable inside the cabin for both driver and passenger, sure-footed and effortless at city speed, and it's an easy and enjoyable driving experience. The conventional automatic plays its part, working in sync with the petrol engine to deliver proper refinement on the move. The ride quality is also first-rate, with the XC60 soaking up bumps and poor surfaces with ease. Even the worst road surfaces disappear beneath the tyres with a measure of composure and confidence. You know, the Volvo XC60 is one of those vehicles that is so much more than the sum of its parts. Taken individually, there are a whole bunch of elements of this vehicle that are particularly good, whether it be the design, practicality, the cabin, the way it drives. Individually, they're all fantastic, but the XC60 is more than just that, and when you put it all together, this is a really impressive medium SUV, luxury or otherwise, and that point needs to be made because this competes for us in the luxury medium SUV segment, but it's an impressive SUV in the medium segment regardless of price. It really is that good. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed the video, click on subscribe so you stay up to date, and of course, as always, the full review of the Volvo XC60 is on our website.